welcome back to my channel. In this video we will make a MNIST fashion classifier which will be trained on MNIST fashion dataset. It consists of 70,000 images which are reshaped in 28 by 28. Also there are 10 labels which are labeled from 0 to 9. I have already built a demo a couple of months back, so let's take a look. So I will try to make something like a shoes here. Suppose it looks shoes. It is an ankle boot. So let's look how actually ankle boot look like. Okay. So in this video we will make first the model, which we will make in Google Colab, which is a free Jupyter notebook server which runs in cloud. It is hosted by Google, as the name suggests. It is pre-installed with TensorFlow and other machine learning stuff, so you guys don't have to install anything locally. After that, in next video we will make this front end with TensorFlow JS and some basic HTML CSS stuff. So see you guys in Colab. So I am currently in Google Colab. I created a notebook named Fashion MNIST. Make sure that your runtime is selected with GPU. Otherwise we will not be able to use the accelerated performance of TensorFlow. So first we will so before that we need to take a look at the dataset. So for loading the dataset we will be using TFDS, which is TensorFlow Data Services. The dataset can be found here. First we have to import everything here. Okay, this might first it will allocate some RAM, then GPU. Okay. So they provide Titan X, I suppose. I don't remember. Okay, so it's done. So now we will load our dataset. So for that we will load first the training part. Yes. Some info. TFDS has inbuilt methods for loading the dataset from their servers. We can use the name of the dataset from here. Name. Then we will be loading information also. So with info equal to true. Then we will shuffle. Suppose there is shuffle something. Shuffle the data. After that we will be there are two splits. Sorry, there are two splits in the dataset. So we have already defined train and test in form of tuple. So we will tell TFDS to split it while loading. Yes. There's a no. As there is something called as supervised. It's required to load some additional info, which helps us in training. So this might take a while. Okay, so it is done now. So we will take a look what is inside the dataset. So for that we will iterate over the object. It has property called take, which gives random objects, I suppose, but it always gives me the first object in the dataset. Okay, enough of that. So for we will load the image. Everything is in NumPy array format, so we will get the values by using NumPy. For plotting we need matplotlib also. After that we will require label. This is not data, it's data. Print labels. Last and show image. CM, I think. CMap. CMap is equal to CM. So plt dot cm dot binary and last lt dot show. Okay, so here we have our jacket as something. So it is a pullover. Yes, it's a pullover. It is a pullover with label 2. Yes, the label is 2. Okay, so we are good here. So first we will do some data pre-processing. For that we will use the inbuilt methods provided in TFDS. So first we will normalize the image. For that we will make a function lines which will take image and label and will return okay, the image into float, and the float is 64 or 32, and we will divide by 255. So values in the NumPy array are between 0 to 255. So we will normalize, means convert the values between 0 to 1, as the neural network architecture works best when the input values are between 0 to 1. So after that we will return our labels. I hope this is correct. So now we will use the inbuilt method on the dataset called map, which will help us to apply this function over each objects in the dataset. So it has property called number of parallel calls. There is a property in TFDS by which it will automatically determine what should be the value for this variable. Is auto tune, I suppose. Yes, auto tune. Okay, after that we will these things return object. We need to do this thing. We will some spacious code. Okay. So now we will cache. Okay, so now most of the property that I use here are used for accelerating the training performance. Here it will also return itself. So that we will shuffle the dataset. And then the shuffle or the buffer size for the shuffle will be determined by the number of objects in each split. So we will use the info object here as split method. Yes, for train array, for train dot number of examples. After that, are we done now? Okay, now we will batch our data. .128 batch size, and at the end we will add some prefetch code which will help to optimize the training time. Prefetch, which will be also determined automatically by the TFDS experimental auto tune. Suppose this should work. Yes, it's working. So now this, I know this is tedious, but I will now change each train to test. You can see this.
2,000 years later.
Okay, we are done here. So now we will create our model. That makes sense. So now we will create model. Sequential. Oh no, it is array. What is that? Now as you know, this is the image dataset, so we will use convolutional neural networks for this. Dot layer dot con 2D. So the architecture of the model will be something like this. I used this architecture and got pretty good results, so I will stick to that, but you can experiment something different. 28 on filter size, so we will use 3x3 filters, and the input shape will be 28:1. This one is for the grayscale images. If there are RGB, then you can change it to 3. After convolutional layers, it's a common practice to use the pooling layer. We will just copy paste these 2 times. I think there is no need to specify input shape again. I think it is, don't know, I reduce the filter. So after this we will flatten the layers, and then we will use some dense layers. These layers have neurons which are connected to each of them. What is happening? Around 50 neurons. You can change this, and if anything better helps, then please tell me in comments. We will use ReLU activation. As this is the last layer, the number of neurons specified in this layer will be equal to the number of labels in the dataset. So in the dataset we have 10 labels, 0 to 9. So we will have here 10 neurons, and the activation will be softmax. If you want me to explain each of these layers, pooling and everything, then please tell me in comments. I will make a separate video on how this actually works. Now we have our model architecture ready. Now we have to compile the model. First we have to specify the loss. For that we will I will use sparse categorical loss. Sparse categorical cross entropy. There should be shortcut for this, like SCC would actually help. Then we will specify the optimizer. I will use Adam. Then met will be accuracy, and I think it is done. Now we will print out the summary of the model. This will give us how our model actually looks. Okay, so now we will actually train the model by using the fit method. So first we will pass the training data, then we will specify number of epochs. You can change this. I used 50 and it performed well. We will name validation data, is actually the test data, and I think to check the accuracy and to graph everything, to plot everything, we need to model.feed functions actually returns a dictionary with all the values. Okay, so I think we are done here. Okay, so as you can see, it takes only 5 seconds for each epoch. This is actually because of all of this thing we done here. If I just remove these statements, then it on an average takes about 40 seconds per epoch. So I will skip this.
2,000 years later.
So we are done here, and I also wrote some code for visualizing the accuracy and validation loss. Okay, so as you can see, the validation and training accuracy is increasing epoch by epoch up till 50. Validation accuracy is around 87%, I suppose. Yes, and loss is also decreasing. So that's it for this video. In next video, we will take this model and convert it into TensorFlow JS format, and we'll deploy using our front end. So stay tuned.